America is going to be the coolest and normalest place in the world. This I vow. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. And hello to a cool America where everything is just going to be more and more chill every day.
Anthony, it's been a minute since we talked about burbs, our favorite flying creatures.
I don't trust them.
You know? No, we don't. We talk about their pranks. The bird pranks, common. We've cataloged them as best we can here on We Have Concerns.
I think, Jeff, and I know that we've gone so far as to hint at this, but I don't know if we've ever said it out loud. I think birds are purposely acting dumber than they are.
Yeah, that's part of their prankery. Part of their prankery. They're so smart, and they're like, oh, look at me, I'm a bird. And it's like, I know, I'm onto you, bird. I get what you're doing.
Dude, birds are 100%. I even think that when like they're giving those tests to crows, and it's like, can you put a stick into a lucite cube that will raise a walnut to you? And the bird pretends for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think the bird is just giggling under its breath the entire 15 minutes. I think the bird's like, buddy, I've got your keys and your wallet.
I'm distracting you so my bird friends can go shit on your car and laugh.
Yeah, there's 73 of us in a trench coat, and we just picked up your kid from practice. You buffoon.
We're his dad now.
Yeah, we are now the world's best dad. We saw that mug in your window, and it was shiny, and we wanted it.
Yeah.
And now it's ours.
Now we've got it.
Yeah.
Well, another of their famous bird pranks is to fly into jet engines. You know how they love to do that?
I haven't figured out what their end game is with that one yet. Like, listen, they're clever, and I know that they're doing something. I haven't figured out what the end game is.
Well, they're taking down those planes and laughing the whole time. Sure, they die.
They're not, though, because for every bird, we have a Sully.
That's
for
right.
every bird, there is a Tom Hanks waiting to save the people in that plane. So come at us, birds.
Well, I want to talk about birds in jet engines. There was a story submitted on our Discord, which you can get access to by heading over to our Patreon, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. Our Discord is awesome, and folks are sending in science stories all the time. This one submitted by Sitar. Thank you, Sitar. This is an article from the Washingtonian about, it's an interview with a woman named Carla Dove. I know what you're thinking.
Listen. Was it a phone interview? Was it a phone interview with Carla Dove?
There's a picture, but I don't know. I don't trust
farther, I need to know, Jeff, was it a phone interview with Carla Dove?
It was a phone interview, but they needed to corroborate it. So they got on the phone with Hank Crow, and he said she was legit. So,
oh boy, they're starting to take things over from within.
Anyway, Carla Dove is one of the world's few forensic ornithologists. She is a forensic
CSI. CSI for birds.
CSI bird.
Whoa.
Coming this fall to CBS. Oh. CSI bird.
Directed by LeVar Burton.
Caw-caw!
You know LeVar Burton directs like half of all the CSI episodes?
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Take a look. It's in a book.
So she went a bird in a crime of passion. I'm sorry, that's SVU. That's not CSI.
That's SVU. Yeah, you're
that's
getting
bird
your
SVU.
franchises mixed up. Yes.
Those are what bird sex crimes. Some bird crimes are too heinous. They're particularly heinous.
That's
what
right,
bird? What kind of
don't
bird?
Don't let a bird touch your heinous. What?
I mean, Elliot Stabler's a pigeon, but like the Mariska Hargitay character, what sort of bird do you think she is?
I think she is a flamingo.
I wouldn't have picked something that flashy, but you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
What about Ice-T?
Oh boy, Ice-T is a penguin.
You're just free associating. I don't think you're even thinking about the character.
I don't know enough bird species, I guess.
Wait.
Also, I've never watched an episode of SVU.
Okay, I was like, wait, your response is, I don't know enough birds, not I don't know the characters from SVU well enough.
I've literally never watched an episode of SVU, but I know who Ice-T is.
But hey, wait a minute. Jeff, not a single one?
Never. Not once have I ever watched SVU. Not a single time. Never.
But Jeffrey,
I know. I'm an American. I am still an American.
For 10 years, it was all that was on.
Yeah, I didn't really watch TV then.
What do you mean?
I was playing video games.
Yeah, sure. You never had it on in the background? You never once caught an episode of SVU?
Not a single time.
Dude, I doubt, distrust. I don't know what your game is. I don't know why you're lying about this.
I've never seen it.
Dude.
I've literally never seen it. I've maybe seen 3 episodes of CSI. I don't watch those kinds of shows.
I would believe it if you said you had never seen a Bones. Nobody's
never seen a Bones. I've literally never seen a Bones.
Only moms
I've never seen
have ever watched Bones.
I've never seen an NCIS.
Sure.
The
more letters you add to it, the less people have seen it.
I've never seen. I used to watch Law and Order, like old school.
With the bells.
Yeah. Well, even before that was what's his name? The old song and dance man.
The old robot insurance company guy.
What was his name?
His name was the guy from the old robot insurance company thing from SNL. But he gave Jerry Orbach.
Orbach. I love an Orbach.
Here's what I know about Jerry Orbach, and anybody who lived in New York for a period of time will know this. Jerry Orbach donated his eyes to science when he died, and because it was up on every subway.
Hell yeah.
It was just Jerry Orbach staring at you with eyes he didn't have anymore because he gave them away. It was all about how he gave his eyes away when he died. Listen,
Sam Waterston, Orbach, and Mr. Big from Sex and the City.
Sam Waterston was the one from the Old Glory Robot Insurance, not Jerry Orbach. Listen, shut up. Here's the thing, Jeff. I can't believe you've never seen an SVU.
That's truth.
So wild to me.
Sorry to disappoint.
It's not
if
even
it was about birds, I'd watch it.
Okay, well, fine, but this is about birds. This is the SVU of birds. No, this is the
forensic ornithologist. This is a job that started in the 60s with a woman named Roxy Laybourne. She is now passed, but she and Carla Dove were teammates. It's a 5-person team.
Laybourne and Dove?
That's right. Laybourne and Dove.
Good,
like
dude.
Cagney and Lacey.
Laybourne and Dove is good.
Yeah.
Now, wait, you've seen Cagney and Lacey?
Actually, I've never seen Cagney and Lacey. I just know it exists. Yeah. I've never seen a Cagney and Lacey.
Okay. I was like, how have you seen a Cagney and Lacey and not an SVU? I'm about to put an episode of SVU on.
Just the rest of this
just
episode is us watching
this
silently
Zoom call
watching.
is just going to turn into, we have to stop and watch an episode of SVU before we can finish this.
Are they good?
They're TV.
Yeah, see? There you go.
No, they're not bad. But here's the thing. They're not bad, and there are 1,000 of them. And the people in them are good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the cast is good, and there are 1,000 of them, and it was on. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just one of those shows.
Yeah, no, I don't tend to watch those shows, you know?
No, you guessed it on a couple of them.
I will certainly play a cop or dad on any of them if asked.
You're like, I've been on them, and the whole time I was there, I was like, this show seems like bullshit.
That's true.
Did you know that in addition to being an actor, I'm also a media critic? That's right. I'm double insufferable, and I think this job sucks.
You made a real mistake hiring me.
Tell me about Laybourne and Dove.
I want to tell you about Laybourne and
crimes.
Dove. Okay. They head the Smithsonian Institute's Feather Identification Lab. This is a real thing. It is a 5-person unit. It is the only full-time bird strike identification lab in the world.
Wait, so they specifically, when you say bird strike,
Yes.
you are talking specifically, the reason you brought up these birds flying into jet engines is they only look at birds that have hit or been hit by something?
That is their main job at this point. Now, it started in the 60s.
Do birds get murdered any other way? There's never like bird poisoning or anything like that?
There's unsolved bird mysteries.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If
with Robert Stork.
Ooh. Go to hell. Go to hell. Watch an SVU. Fucking jerk. Listen, if they have really gotten it down to there's only one way birds get murdered, and it's by smacking into things, I would be like, this is amazing. Because
here's the thing. We don't give a shit about the bird murders. It's about the planes. It's really about the planes.
Even for Carla Dove?
Yeah, even for Carla Dove. I'm sorry I know. You'd think that they care about the birds, but they don't. They care about the planes. And you'll see why as I get into this. You'll see how the birds are really the last consideration in the equation at every step.
This is why people don't cooperate with the cops, because we know that they don't have our best interests at heart.
That's
right. It sucks that that's true even for bird cops.
Even Leyburn and Dove can't get a bird to flip on the other birds.
I'd like to think that if a bird got murdered, and listen, I hate birds. I think they're up to something.
Yeah.
I'm specious against birds. I truly am. And I still want to believe that there's a way for a bird to get justice.
Right. Yeah. Well, there isn't.
Oh, okay. Well, Jesus, it's not just us, it's everywhere. Okay.
So let me tell you how this started, because it evolved into the plane thing.
Yeah.
But it started, Leyburn in the 60s. She was this incredible bird expert. She basically founded the field of forensic ornithology. So basically using feathers, the identification of feathers, to solve crimes, human crimes. So basically building cases against smugglers and poachers. And Anthony, call up your friends at SVU, call up your friends at all of these shows, because she once matched feathers from a homicide victim's down jacket to the feathers found in the perpetrator's van to help convict a murderer. And in another case, check this out, dude. She matched feathers, fragments of feathers found on a bullet that was removed from the victim's body. She matched them with fragments from their spouse's pillow, which had been used to muffle the sound of the gunshot.
Whoa.
That's Roxy Leyburn, baby. That's Roxy Leyburn.
Whoa. That actually fucking owns.
Right?
There she is. Look at her. If you're a listener and not a video patron, I gotta tell you,
that's Carla Dove, right?
That's Carla Dove. She's just standing there pensively holding a large feather, ready to solve another crime.
Yeah. Well, now Carla Dove was Roxy Leyburn's protege.
Okay.
And Roxy Leyburn has passed away. But Carla Dove and her 5-member unit at the Smithsonian. It's the Smithsonian Institution. They now are basically exclusively solving these plane strikes, these collisions where birds get sucked into jet engines, and cause problems.
Jeff, do you remember, like, there was a period of time when all of television was about people who shouldn't be solving crimes.
Yeah, The Mentalist.
You had like
House.
Yeah, you had like a Baywatch, right?
Yeah,
right. You had the lifeguards were solving crimes. You had famously Murder, She Wrote. Like, she wrote crime novels, but she wasn't a cop. But they would like call her, right?
Right.
Or you had all these people that were just like
the Night Rider.
Yeah, a lot of Hasselhoff thrown in there. He didn't.
Yeah.
How do you solve crimes? Well, I drive a car. I have a driver's license.
What
Can
about
drive.
Magnum PI? How do you solve crimes? By being sexy in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
I think he was also technically a novelist, but he just got
Oh, he was a PI. It was right there in the name.
He lived at the house of a novelist.
Yeah, that's right. Higgins.
Well, listen, if
that is a show I watched religiously.
Now, shut up. Listen.
I'll tell you, I'll go on for hours about Magnum PI.
No, you won't, because you're going to shut up.
TC, who was the helicopter pilot.
Here's the thing. Anyway, all of these special interest detectives, right? Where it's like no matter where they go, there's a crime that fits what they do.
Right. That's right. Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm a chef, but I also solve crimes.
Yes.
My mom.
Well, that's so weird that you're here because they were murdered by pasta noodles.
Yeah, somebody was murdered here in this 5-star restaurant. My mom used to read one about a guy who was an art historian and critic, but there were all these murders that would happen. And it was all connected to art. And my dad read one that was about
paint by murder.
Yeah, exactly. They all had titles like that. My dad read a series about a guy who was like, they were all about horse racing, but also murder.
Nice.
This woman was literally solving bird murders in the 70s. And nobody fucking optioned that for a TV show.
Yeah, I know. This needs to be a TV show. This is so good. Yeah.
How far-fetched is it? If you saw in a movie or a television series, if somebody said, oh, we matched the feathers from the jacket you would have been like, that's awfully convenient. Another bird murder solved by the bird murder lady. You know what
What's
I mean?
her name? What's her name? Carla Dove.
Carla Dove.
Ah, screw this show. I'm turning it off.
Yeah, this is a dumb show, but also it's the best show. How are you telling me the truth?
Right.
How is this a true
this
thing
is
that
the
you're
truth.
saying
This
to
is the
me
truth
right now?
It's incredible. So in 1960, this Eastern Airlines flight that left Logan Airport went down in Boston Harbor. 62 people died. And the airline crash investigators found bird carcasses at the end of the runway and feathers in the plane's engines. And justice is handled by two distinct groups. These are their stories. No. So they sent the remains of these carcasses to DC, to Roxy Layburn, and she identified them as European starlings. And so the identification of the type of bird, and we'll get into why in a second, but the identification of the type of bird is key in trying to prevent these things from happening in the future. So they sent them to this lady. They're like, hey, there's this Roxy Layburn lady that has been solving crimes, with feathers. She's the feather crime lady.
Let's send her this. From roof to roof.
Yeah, yeah. She lives in that weird penthouse apartment with all the cages.
Yeah, she lands in dumpsters safely. She slides across hoods and she identifies birds.
Yeah. So they sent her these carcasses. 62 people dead. They're like, oh, what do we do? We sent her these carcasses. She's like, oh yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. These are European starlings, and they're like, European starlings. Okay, we have a plan of action about how we know how to, deal with European starlings. So we know how to
deal with European starlings. You go to where that stuff in a second. You go to their place of work, and you start breaking legs.
That's
and
right.
You start saying, "Oh, you guys like planes, huh? You guys think it's fun messing with planes?" And the birds are like, "We have no idea what you're talking about. We are simple starlings, simple immigrants from Europe. We don't know anything about planes." And he's like, "Oh, okay, you don't know anything about planes. That's what Carla Dove says. You don't know anything about planes, huh?" And then she smashes one of their wings with a baseball bat. And he goes, "Okay, it's in the back. It's in the back." And in the back, you see there are all these birds that are taking plane parts and they're shipping them back to Europe.
Stuffed with cocaine.
To the Eastern Bloc.
Yeah. Well, this pilot really is writing itself,
Dude, this is good. This is good stuff.
It's good. It's good.
Wait, did I guess it? Was that right?
No.
Oh, okay.
So basically, this is the first thing that started. They just started, all these investigations. Word got around, and they started sending bird gunk, which
same thing happened to Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah, she also got bird.
People are like in Cabot Cove. People were like, "Listen,
Cabot Cove.
I'm stumped. What do we do?" It's like, well, there's this old lady who can, sometimes can help. I don't know. And they started saying that. It's like, well, another bird murder? Yeah, another bird murder. Well, I kind of know somebody. It's a little unorthodox.
I know her. I know Carla Dove.
I know Carla Dove.
So it started this thing, and they have now at the Smithsonian a bird library which contains 500,000 preserved bird corpses. They're in 2,400 filing cabinets.
Yeah, I was getting the tone of this show wrong. This is more of a Hannibal thing. This is more of a, no, I'm sorry. This is more of a Brian Fuller. I apologize. No,
it's evolving.
Now she's like a little bit more idiosyncratic. People don't necessarily trust her, right? She has all these drawers full of strange bird carcasses, but she's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Right.
Now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting it, Jeff.
500,000 bird corpses representing
too many.
8,500 different bird species.
Hey, do you know what, Jeff? If you have 8,500 different bird species, you only need 8,500 corpses, bud.
I guess not.
You don't need 500,000. This is what I'm saying.
Are you the bird expert in this story? No, you're not.
No, I'm not. But guess what, dude?
Carla says we need 500K.
Yeah, I bet she does. This is why she's got such a reputation at the agency. It's a little off-putting.
More? Carla, more? We need more?
Yes, more. I only have like 500,000 bird corpses. What if 500,001 is the one that cracks the case? I ran over his pigeon with my car. Please tag it and bag it.
Tag it and bag it. Also, could you talk to the IKEA people? Because they don't interact with me anymore after I keep buying those.
If you had to store 500,000 birds, Jeff.
Yeah.
If you had to store them.
Not birds, bird corpses.
Bird corpses. It's not a Billy bookcase. That's just, it's too big for each bird.
No.
It's
not a calyx.
No, it's not a calyx.
No.
It's not one of those like adorable pseudo card catalog. Like,
no, you need something with a lid.
Yeah, what do you?
You need something that can seal.
I would love to see this storage solution. I truly would.
Yeah.
I
call them
imagine
slim filing cabinets.
Oh, okay. So
2,400 slim filing cabinets.
So we're pressing the birds, not unlike flowers.
Well, the best part of this story, by the way.
Or do you keep, if you have, okay, so there are only 8,400 birds. If you have like 50 sparrow corpses, do they all go in the same folder?
I think so. Under S for sparrow.
You just throw them all into one of those wide folders, and it's just a bunch of fucking dead sparrows.
Folder. It's in the manila folder.
Yeah, it's in a wide manila folder. You know the ones?
Yeah, I sure do. And
it's just this is
so many sparrows in here.
There's a certain providence in it. The thing is, I just want to see. I just want to know how they're stored. I want a picture of the bird storage. Because, look, the Smithsonian catalogs a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're running this out of the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian stores so many things. I bet they have a very novel storage solution for this, because the weird lady wants 500,000 dead birds. And they're like, look, we've got other things. We've got Kermit the Frog and the ruby slippers here.
Sure.
You know,
they got their own manila folders.
Unfortunately, we've got the Cosby sweater.
Right.
What are we?
Yeah,
we can't have the Cosby sweater we don't care about, but we can't have the ruby slippers smelling like dead bird.
No, they got to smell like dead witch.
That's right. That's right. So I want to know how they're keeping these things. Anyway, I'm sorry. So they send the corpse back.
sometimes they don't have so basically what they're doing is sending whatever previously was bird, whatever residue they can scrape from the jet engine these crashes, or not even crashes. Sometimes the planes, get hit by birds and they land completely safely and they're fine, but they still find bird gunk and they're like, okay, still, this could have been a crash if it was worse. So let's figure out what's going on here. So they scrape the bird gunk and they send it to the Smithsonian for these people to identify. Now, my favorite part of this story, Anthony.
How do they know it's bird gunk and not just some other gunk? Are they just sending all their gunk? Are they just offloading all their gunk problems on Carla Dove?
Well,
let's hope it's a bird and Carla solves it, because I want to go home. I'm clocking out for the day.
What else is it going to be?
To the bird.
What else is it going to be? That's my question to you.
What do you mean, gunk? Gunk could be anything.
I guess if you find gunk in the jet engine, it could be something. It's like
peanut butter sandwich.
Feathers.
Peanut butter sandwich. Maintenance guys working on the wing. Peanut butter sandwich.
All right.
I don't know. Who knows what's up there, dude? You think it's just birds in the sky? You're so naive.
Peanut butter sandwiches in the sky. All right.
I don't know. Maybe the jet engine was spinning up and they caught a bit of a bobcat before they even took off, and it only became a problem later.
All right. I'll buy your.
Maybe gunk was building up for days
with all the cougars and peanut butter jelly sandwiches. I get it.
This is negligence on the part of the airline.
My favorite part of the story, Anthony, as I've been trying to tell you, is they have their own word for the gunk.
Lay it on me.
They call it snarge. Snarge.
From the Thundercats?
Snarge. Snarge. S-N-A-R-G-E. Snarge. It's a portmanteau of snot and garbage.
I mean,
snarge.
To me, that's snarbage.
I would agree, but snarge is so much better, right?
Snarge is cool, but it's not the greatest portmanteau. It's a great term.
Right. I guess maybe I'm being a little generous by calling it portmanteau. It's a mashup of those, in the same way that they're getting mashed up bird.
Yeah.
The word is a mashup. Snarge is what they call it. Snot and garbage. They get literally sent bags of snarge that they have to sort through. They have DNA sequencers, so they can put some of it into the DNA sequencing machine at the Smithsonian, so they can, identify some. Sometimes they'll identify it via DNA, but a lot of what they're doing is literally looking at feathers, feather fragments, or actual full feathers, and then literally bringing those feathers and seeing if they can pair them to the library of bird corpses that they have on hand.
That's wild.
Yes.
That's bonkers. The snarge.
The snarge.
The snarge of it. I want to touch snarge. Is that weird?
Don't. No, you don't.
Yeah,
if you go down, scroll down in that article, there's a picture of a sack of snarge.
You can't tell me what I want to do.
I'm telling you, you don't want to touch the snarge. It's a bad idea, Jeans. Were you leaving to go get snarge? Where did you go?
Stall for time.
All right, so between 1988...
Be a professional.
I am. I'm trying. You're not letting me. Between 1988 and 2023, bird strikes in jet engines destroyed 350 civil and military planes and killed 491 people worldwide. It's a problem. It's a problem. Cost billions of dollars of damage. So Carla Dove and her team, looking at the snarge, trying to figure out which bird species these are to try to prevent these things from happening. These often, the most often this happens is when it takes off during takeoff or landing. So most frequently a bird gets sucked into the jet engine, not when you're soaring at 30,000 feet. It's at takeoff or landing, and the reason for that is because birds.
Bobcat chases him in.
That's where all the PB&Js are.
Yeah. Bobcat was going after somebody's sandwich, scares a bird.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that's what happens.
It's usually at an altitude of 3,000 feet or less, and oftentimes during takeoff and landing, because birds are attracted to
Bobcats.
airfields. It's
airfields.
Airfields. They're big open spaces. They're usually, very attractive to birds.
Yeah, it looks like a good place for a bird. If I'm a bird and I want to graze or fly, or perhaps, Jeff, they worship the giant birds.
The giant metal birds that are taking off and landing?
Yeah, perhaps they look upon them like as unto gods. Have they looked into that as a theory?
It's possible. That would have to be more of the bird mentalist, I think, would have to get into that one.
We get it. You were on the mentalist once.
Or it could have been, this all could be a bird scandal. I did an episode of Scandal once as well.
Did you really?
I did an episode of Scandal.
Oh, shit.
You're not going to believe what I played.
Hey, were you on, you were also on, you were on the Tim Roth one too, right?
The Tim Roth? What's the Tim Roth? No, I don't think I was on that one. I don't know what that one's called, but I don't think I was on that one. Anyway, so the Federal Aviation Administration has recorded every midair encounter between a bird and a plane for the last 30 years. There have been 285,000 of them. And
why are we worried? That's not even as many. That's not like half as many birds as this lady has in her room.
Well, check this out. Only 651 bird species have been involved. So we've got a catalog.
Out of how many?
Well, I told you we got a catalog of 8,500 of them, which accounts for 85% of total bird species.
Okay, so don't try to be clever. That's 10,000 birds that we know of. Okay, so that's 10,000 birds, and there's been 265.
I mean, I guess that's easy math, yes. But there's only been 861 different bird species involved. No, excuse me, 651 different bird species ever involved in the last 30 years in a midair collision. That's crazy.
Wait, now, are you trying to tell me that this woman is bird profiling? Because I don't like that. Now we're getting into uncomfortable territory. Now you're trying to tell me that there are good birds and there are bad birds.
Well,
you're like,
that's
you're doing
not what
a little,
I'm saying.
You're doing like
That's
a little bit of D&D 3rd edition where you're like, I don't know, would an orc really talk like that? And it's like,
no, sir. I am not. I'm saying that what Carla's team will tell you right to your face is that in order to prevent these things from happening, we have to understand the species of bird, because each species of bird behaves differently, is drawn to the airfield for different reasons.
Wow.
And if you want to sort this out and prevent future catastrophes, you're going to have to handle each species different. You're going to have to identify which species it is.
Got to figure out what kind of birds you want moving into your neighborhood. Am I right, Jeff?
Or how to get them out of there.
Is that what you're saying?
I mean, not in those words.
Maybe the bird goes to the bank to get a loan, Jeff. And they ask the bird for its zip code. And whoops, we can't give you a loan.
It's not what we're talking
We
about.
can't give you a loan is what they say to that bird. All because of Carla Dove.
In 1990, the JFK in New York, the airport, was having
not the man.
No, not the man. He was long dead.
Yeah.
The airport was having problems. They had 136 reported incidents smashing into these laughing gulls. 136 laughing gulls, not laughing anymore.
Bird
in 1990. Carla and her team identified that they were laughing gulls. A year later, that number dropped to 60. So that 136 in 1990, 1991, 60. Today, fewer than 7 gull strikes a year at JFK. Why? Because they figured out how to deal with it.
Because they made them all move.
Well, I mean, that's true. You say
So
it like
you
it's
admit it.
it's what happened. They literally got shotguns out and started shooting them. But
I'm sorry,
shooting
what?
them
That was the great bird
shot into the air.
detective?
No, they shot into the air to scare them away.
The
in
great bird
2003,
detective? Their answer was shoot them. You got a bird problem? Birds are flying into your plane? Shoot them. You're telling me that we set up this whole mythology and the answer is if bird fly into plane, shoot bird?
No, that was one version. I'm giving you multiple examples here.
I don't want
In
them.
2003, LaGuardia had 5 cases of hitting Canadian geese at 125 feet. It knocked out the engine. One of its fan blades was sent through the fuselage. Bad situation. No one was injured, but the plane landed safely, but it was bad. But they were like, we can't let this happen. These geese are getting into the engines. They're enormous. Well, send it over to Carla Dove. What does Carla Dove tell you? Guess what? These are Canadian geese. They're not native to New York. They're migratory birds.
Also known for being jerks. Listen, I know I was saying a whole thing about bird profiling just now, but there's one bird that we can profile, Jeff, and it's the Canadian goose.
Yeah.
The Canadian goose absolutely eat shit. If there are any Canadian geese listening right now, absolutely get fucked.
Well, they realized that because they're migratory birds, they could not be controlled because you're not altering their natural habitat.
You can't control a Canadian goose. You can't tame it.
That's right. You can hope to contain it, but you can't tame it.
That's right.
So in the 20 years after that, there've been only 5 total hits because they figured out how to get rid of these geese without what. Let me give you another example. This is more common as to the kinds of things that they find out.
Does it end with them shooting?
No, this one ends with no shooting at all.
Okay. Wow, they've really grown as people.
This is a Canadian geese story. This is a Canadian geese story. So this is part of it. They call the Canadian goose the flying cow.
All right. Just one? Because that's insulting.
Just the one that really let herself go.
Yeah, just one. That's so fucked.
Well, you shame one, and then the word gets around, and none of them want to come around anymore.
Wow.
No, that's terrible. No, they call it the flying cow because it grazes. It grazes like a cow. So what did they do for these Canadian geese I've been telling you about?
Wait, don't all birds graze?
Well, this one that's sort of determines its migratory path. It's like where it can graze. It finds a big swath of grass at the open air grass at the airport. It's drawn to it. So what did they do? Anthony? Well, Carla calls him up and it's like, you know what you got to do? Episode
Shotgun.
138. No, that was all the previous 137 episodes.
You got to blow them right out of the sky.
No, cut your grass, Carla said. Keep your grass trimmed to the minimum height. Nothing for the geese to graze. Ruins their dinner. They don't come around here anymore. It worked.
But okay, Jeff, I hate to be this guy. I truly do. But Jeffrey, all bird graze.
Listen to this one. Red-tailed hawks. Red-tailed hawks were flying into engines in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, because they were trying to catch bobcats.
They were trying to catch mice. Red-tailed hawks want to catch mice. So Carla Dove is like, hey, can't cut the grass. Doesn't do anything to the red-tailed hawks. Here's what your problem is. Your problem ain't the birds. It's the mice. So you got a rodent problem. Get rid of your rodents. No more birds in the engines. This is why we're getting a full episode order, a full season order of this series, Anthony. Because there's an infinite number of these solutions.
Okay.
We're going to a series.
I just feel like maybe I built these solutions up a little bit in my head to where they were going to be maybe less, how do I say it? Basic. Is that
basic about trimming your grass?
Yeah, like basically like, you know, oh, the geese are eating grass. Okay, well, if they're coming here to eat the grass, we should stop them from eating the grass. Okay. Well, the hawks are coming here to eat mice. All right, we should probably get rid of the mice.
But you're missing the key point, which is identifying that it is a hawk or a goose. Because all you get is snarge. You know what the fuck that is? You got to send it to Carla, and she's like, this snarge is goose. And no, this snarge is hawk.
And this goose is snarge. Take him away, boys.
You would have got away with it, too, if it wasn't for your meddling.
No, it wasn't for peddling. She chases them on bicycles. Human can't run after bird. Bird too fast.
Reagan National Airport had bald eagles were a problem because,
Because Ronald Reagan ordered that they released 1 million bald eagles.
That's right.
Into his airport because he was like, well, it's got to be the most American airport of all the airports.
That's right.
And so
that's exactly how it happened.
And so they took all of the remaining endangered, let me just say endangered, Jeffrey, bald eagles and put them directly onto one of the runways.
That's right. It was a beautiful day, though.
That's right. Because he wanted Air Force One to land and the bald eagles to clear and to fly around it in a beautiful display of American patriotism.
Perched on the wing as Reagan descended the steps out of the plane. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway.
And then they were like, and it was sort of like when they released the mongoose into Hawaii.
Right.
They were just like, shit.
Reagan became an invasive species.
That's Reagan started as an invasive species, but it was the bald eagle. And then what happened was they had bald eagles running the food courts and stuff in there.
That's what happens. Once you get a Reagan on the loose, then all of a sudden you get a Bush and a second Bush.
You can hear him in the vents.
Yeah.
Reagan's just skittering around.
Well, Nancy.
Jelly beans. Jelly beans.
Well, here I come.
You got something in the vents? Yeah, but I don't know if it's either a Reagan or a Doctor Who. I can't tell. Jelly beans. Well, we know it's a Reagan because he's saying jelly beans and not jelly babies. And that's why I'm the exterminator. I'm sort of like the Carla Dove of getting guys out of your vents.
The bald eagles they feed on the fish in the Potomac. And what they do is they come over to the airfield after they come over to Reagan's, as you know they like to do, and just kind of like bask in the post-meal glow.
Why
They're just
there?
hanging out. What's that?
Why there? Just because it's open fields?
Because it's close to the Potomac.
Oh, okay. But like there are a lot of...
They like their unobstructed views.
Yeah.
They can spot threats coming a mile away. Right. They can just hang out.
Closest big open field to the Potomac where they eat.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what did they do? They're like, oh, bald eagles, here's what we got to do. Scare them away. Make this comfortable, post-meal recreation area no longer serene and palatable to them. No longer fun.
Put up a couple pamphlets about socialism.
That'll right up there on Reagan Airport. That'll be it.
Yeah, you just put them out in the airfield. What you do is you drop a few pamphlets about socialized healthcare, and about like universal basic income.
Yeah,
you know
what the bald eagle hates the most is the hammer and the sickle.
That's right.
Put those out. You just spread hammers and sickles all across our tarmac, and they hate it.
They hate it. They go right away. They go, it's like a vampire in a 50s movie. They're just like,
No, what they did was they used whistles, noisemakers, fireworks, and human screaming.
Where'd they get the human screaming?
They found humans that weren't doing anything else, and they had them just run across the tarmac and yell.
Okay. All right.
Carla Dove, solutions.
I like the fireworks. That's thematic.
Yeah. Bombs bursting in air.
Yeah. I think that's great. And then you can just tell people, like, of course we have fireworks.
But then they had a problem with a bunch of 8-year-old kids congregating on the tarmac to watch the fireworks.
Yeah, but parents. Like, honestly, it's It's the birds that are the real problem. For whatever reason, jet engine can suck a kid right up, spit it right out, keep flying.
That's right.
We don't know why.
They're soft and malleable.
We don't know why.
They don't have feathers. It's the feathers the problem.
It's the feathers. That's the snarge.
Yeah. That's why
kids aren't even snarge. They're just snot. That's the thing. You crack open a kid, it's 93% snot. You have kids, you know.
I do. Yeah. There's no snarge. It's all
just the snug. There's no arge.
There's no snug. It's all snug. Yeah. Oh man.
So okay.
Anyway, that's Carla Dove and her forensic ornithologist strike team. That's what they do, and it's an amazing thing. And she's the only people. They're the only people in the country that do it.
Have you ever do you think there's ever been a time where the DNA evidence like two birds got sucked in at the same time, or there was bird and there was still like a little piece of bobcat left over, and so the DNA evidence was not conclusive?
Well, that's why they got to turn to the feather matching.
They're matching.
They're feather matchers.
I got to tell you, I do think it is wildly fascinating that somebody could, because you would imagine these feathers. I mean, you imagine a bird getting sucked into a jet engine, and you kind of imagine it in a Looney Tunes way, where the feathers come popping all out, and maybe the bird comes out the other side as a roast duck or something.
Yeah.
But you would think that they would have to recognize a feather at such a particulate level, right? Because they're not getting whole chunks of feather.
That's right. Yes.
It's been snarged, my dude.
It's been snarged.
We're talking about you're maybe getting a particle, a molecule of feather, and you've got to get it under the old snargiscope.
Yeah.
The spectral snargiscope. And you got to look at honestly a microscopic amount of feather and match it to a species. That's
right.
kind of wild.
No, you brought up Sully.
Yeah.
And Carla and her team were on the Sully case.
And they found out he did it?
That's the part of the movie that they don't show you, where Tom Hanks is guilty.
He planted the goose?
He planted the snarge. They sent over 62 bags, I think it is. Let me find the number here. I think it was 62 bags of snarge.
Okay, but how, what are we talking about? Is this grocery bag? What's a bag of snarge? Is this a gallon Ziploc?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question.
Is it 62 dime bags of snarge, or is this a lot of snarge?
Show me your bag size.
Yeah, that's not a standard unit of measurement, dude.
That's so true.
Okay, I'm going to picture a 5-pound rice sack. I'm going to picture the giant bag that dog food comes in, where you get 80 pounds of dog food at once.
Yeah.
62 of those on pallets in a plane on its way to the Smithsonian. Dudes in jumpsuits and sunglasses, government issue, pallets of snarge going in and out of the Smithsonian all day. Carla Dove saying, I need this hallway blocked off. I need a clear path to the snarge. We got to start looking at this snarge immediately. No, I don't care if those kids want to see the
fireworks show.
I don't care if those kids want to see the magic mirror from Romper Room. Block it off. What is that, an early Mesozoic flute? Block it off. No kids get to see that on a field trip today. I'm snarging. And people in the Smithsonian are somebody's walking down the hall with a bunch of file folders, just full of paper, not birds. And they're just walking with file folders, and they're oh, I got to talk to Carla. And it's you know better. You can't talk to her right now. She's snarging. You know better than to talk to Carla when she's snarging. It's when Sherlock enters his mind palace or whatever.
Yeah. That's how Carla works.
Yeah, she's digging through the snarge. You know not to look at her. You don't even make eye contact with her.
She's just got a wooden spoon and a pair of gloves. just in the snarge.
Yeah, especially like when they send it in those giant sacks like that.
Yeah.
Do you think she ever scrooges through the snarge?
Like dives into it?
Yeah, if you got like 62 bags of it, where do you start?
I think you start with bag 1. That's where you start.
I think that's probably part of the first episode. That's whoever the audience surrogate character is like, this is so much snarge. Where do we even start? And she snaps her glove.
Yeah.
And she goes, where we always start. First bag of snarge.
That's the name of the first episode is bag 1.
Bag 1. And we keep going.
How big are those bags, Carla? As big as they need to be. Big as they need to be.
Because sometimes it's actually full of bobcat.
Get your wooden spoon.
Bobcats, they leaves a lot.
Carla, I found a bloody snarge splooge. No, Apprentice Rick. That's grape jam. That was a peanut butter and jelly.
That was
sandwich.
A peanut butter sandwich. We get a lot of that. You'll learn. But I'll tell you what, I appreciate your energy.
You got to learn that. You got to know the difference between snarge and snack. You know,
that's what my mentor always told me.
May rest her soul, Roxy.
I love this. Thank you to Sitar for
I
sending
feel like
this
you
in.
did love it for a long time, and I was trying to force you to love it. I think this is amazing.
No, listen, Jeff.
I think this could be a Chronicles of a Badass, Carla Dove.
Don't try to sneak it in at the end, because that automatically makes me bristle against it. You know what I mean?
I love those people that are in the job that their last name describes. I love those people.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's very like, I wish everybody had like a Dickensian descriptor of who they are. So I could meet them and I could immediately know.
Yeah.
You know
like
what I
Bill
mean?
Smiles is your dentist, you know, and I love it.
Yeah. We're asking for, what are we asking for? A return to the Middle Ages?
Yes.
It's like John Smith, where you're just like, well, I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
That's right. That's why my birth name is Jeff Podcaster.
That's right. Carboni actually means coal miner.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Well, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, I know. My lungs are too clean. Thank you so much to Sitar for sending this in. I did love it. Here's the thing, Jeff. Even if I think something is silly, that doesn't mean I don't love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bud?
I tell you what, this is what I guarantee.
Yeah.
In the next week, you're going to be using the word snarge more than once.
You got to stop trying to make snarge happen.
I'm going to make snarge happen. This is a good word. Snarge.
If you've seen a story recently that you'd like to send in to us, if you think it's snarge worthy, you can send it in on the Discord. That's a great place to do it. You want to be on the Discord? What's the Discord? How do I do that? First of all, calm down.
It's simple. It's so simple. All you got to do is give us $1 single per month. That's $12 in an entire year.
We do ask for you to do it in person.
Please send it in 1 cubic bag.
That's right.
Size.
But we will be lenient for this month and this month only, and allow you to go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns and send it in digitally. And as you send in more, you get a little bit more. It is the only way that we support the show. So we like to give you a little something in return for enjoying the show. You get extra audio, bonus episodes, video, all kinds of stuff. Check it out at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. Lion House.